I haven't put these on in a while, and I recommend you do the same, because watching this video will reduce your free testosterone value by 100%. This is the most painful podcast I've ever watched.
I actually cannot believe the podcast that I just watched. Who remembers Ned from the Try Guys? Huh?
Yo, is that Philion?
Any Ned enthusiasts? Ned Fulmer, yeah, Fulmer family, Ned Fulmer.
For those of you who don't know, Ned Fulmer was a Try Guy, a group of low testosterone beta men who were part of the BuzzFeed network. And what happened was this bug man cheated on his wife, who he has a child with, for a producer that worked on the show. He folded like a lawn chair. And he just came out with a podcast, sitting down with his ex-wife, airing it all out.
Guys, where we at, huh? Well, I'm sure you recall in 2022, there was the huge scandal that went public about how he'd actually been cheating on his wife for quite a while with their producer at the Try Guys. It was a huge deal. Of course, led to the dissolving of their marriage. It basically kicked Ned off of the public sphere, and he has remained in the back rooms for the last 3 years. He has just crawled his way out of the shadow realm and surfaced.
So check this out. Ned Fulmer and his wife, and this is the producer in question. Yeah. That's exactly what happened.
Just with a podcast.
Ned Fulmer, we're like Ned Folder.
Called Rock Bottom with Ned Fulmer. His first guest, his ex-wife, so he could talk directly to her about all of the cheating. It's like podcast therapy or some shit, and it actually makes me think podcasting should straight up be illegal or have like some kind of like rigorous vetting protocol in place where you need like a license to own podcasting equipment.
This is the gayest shit I've heard all week, and it's only Monday. Strap in. Now, we're watching Charlie's breakdown on this because I don't have it in me to scrub through the actual episode because it's over an hour long, and I couldn't be fucked to parse through the golden nuggets. So we're gonna bounce off the commentary.
This is fucking agonizing. It takes so much to make me turn something off that I've committed to watching. I will stomach any amount of like revolting dog shit this planet has to offer. I could watch Two Girls, One Cup 100 times back to back to back to back to back to back to back without even blinking. But this was too agonizing. I had to turn it off after 30 minutes. It is brutal to sit through. I can only imagine what she was feeling with this, because he kind of like talks about himself as if he's like some kind of a victim, like a survivor of his own cheating scandal. It's weird. You have to see this.
Strange to think that people are watching this and...
I can't watch him. Physiognomy doesn't lie. He's got the face that a woman working in HR gives you when you're about to be fired. He looks like he just smelled a rancid fart and is enjoying it.
Listening to it rather than just being in like a therapy setting.
Oh, heck yeah. It's terrible.
Second of all, presumably a millionaire, and there is a low electric buzzing their entire podcast. Fix your audio, you clown.
Terrifying.
Yeah.
It's absolutely, yeah. I mean, I'm on the verge of like standing up and walking out of this room. Absolutely.
You should have. You should have mocked him right then and there. You should make him sit in the cuck chair in the corner.
Understandable. And no one on the planet would...
Why do you have to cheat on your wife? Just break up with her. You want a piece of strange that bad?
Blame her if she did. I think that is a totally reasonable response. It is still so baffling to me that this even got made in the first place, to be honest. Now, Ned did give like a pre-game speech here, but I just wanted to show you that he did actually sit down with his ex-wife and have an hour-long discussion with her about him cheating and him like prodding her, poking her like, and how did you feel about that? Yeah? Wasn't good, was it? Thought not. It's so fucking weird.
Hi, I'm Ned Fulmer.
I can't. Chat, if I ever sit down and make a video like this, I need you to take me out back, bro. Tell me to look at the rabbits, because my social media career is over. Hi, I'm Philion.
3 years ago, I cheated on my wife with my producer. It became a massive public scandal that caused a lot of pain. to a lot of people.
Even naming it rock bottom, bro. Just own it. Where's the masculinity? Where's the virility? Where's the power? This is why you never goon. Here at Third Eye Global, kick.com/Philion, we practice mana retention.
I know that
This shit is biblical. Gooning will lead you down a dark and dangerous path.
I represented myself as a kind of wife guy who talked about his relationship, and
This guy needs to bench 225. Start purchasing Mog bars. Coming soon, by the way. He's got to do something.
put that out there for public consumption.
Big wife guy. Ned Fulmer used to be synonymous with wife guy. I think. I don't know. I was never the biggest
I'm the wife guy. Cringe millennial chungus. I love my wife. Clearly not, you fuck ass.
consumer of Try Guy's content, but from what I understand, that was like a core part of his identity, like his whole personality revolving around like being the wife guy. So of course that made everything even worse for him, even though it was already extremely bad. Now, this has been pointed out by a lot of people, and I don't know if this is how he's always been, if he's just this kind of quirky, zany guy who likes vocal fry, but a lot of people mentioned, and it's very clear, he is putting on, like, an extra dollop of vocal fry.
I love my wife so much, I decided to share all that love with an employee.
It is brutal to listen to. It sounds like out of a cartoon when a character is mocking somebody else. Yeah, I may have present.
I got you with the logs, not the bars. We're gonna have both. Gonna have high protein needs for everyone.
Did myself as a wife guy. It's so like nails on a chalkboard.
And you, as a viewer,
Because it's performative. Because it's fake and gay and not true and straight. There's supposed to be some self-awareness with the name Rock Bottom. Please, save your tears.
I know that I broke your trust. One step is to publicly witness the pain of my partner.
I'm so sad. I just want to move on.
Ariel. This is a
See, a lot of people say this is what no pussy does to a motherfucker. I've seen what pussy does to a motherfucker, and it's worse. Can't speak for all the BuzzFeed men, but something tells me they weren't really slinging it growing up. So when they got into positions of power with money and resources, the huzz started flocking to them, and he couldn't say no. His brain was filled with too much coom.
conversation with Ariel in this video.
I just want to move on, which is why I launched my new podcast, Rock Bottom, to meticulously relive every painful moment of my time in my life.
It's painful at times. It's honest, vulnerable, brutal.
But why? Why do you want to broadcast you publicly witnessing the pain you have caused your ex-wife? Why wouldn't this just be a conversation had with like a professional or just between you two behind
Yeah, it seems like this should be a private matter.
closed doors? Why do we need to be invited into this? This is him just making like a public spectacle and trying to like get back into the internet zone. So he drags his ex-wife
It's actually a good point. It's a PR stunt. He wants to be in the limelight and make that sweet, sweet ad revenue.
in here to try and like reopen the wounds here publicly so that way he can paint it as him like taking the accountability, this public flogging that he's going to give himself, listening to all the pain and suffering he's caused her. And the whole podcast is him kind of like prodding like, and how did my cheating make you feel? Did it make you feel bad? Yeah, I bet it. Yeah. No,
We didn't even get into it yet, and I'm already disgusted on a primal level.
I know it made you feel bad. Yeah, no, it sounds about right. It made you feel bad, right? All while he's filming it to try and milk this devastating event that she's gone through for his own personal views and his own attempt at a comeback. That's how it seems. The catchphrase, I believe, for his podcast, which you can find on his About section, sometimes the only way out is through one podcast.
Look at this chat GPT ass description. Everyone makes mistakes. Everyone feels that way. But what comes next? Rock Bottom is a show that explores people's lowest, most embarrassing and challenging moments. Why?
At a time. That is the slimiest shit. Oh my god.
As disappointed as we were that something so private and painful became such a public spectacle, I get why people were so outraged, and I understand that that is the reason that she can't move forward with any sort of public thing without addressing this.
Making a public apology to his ex-wife is like showing the public that he actually apologized and feels bad, but no one gives a flying fuck what he feels. Why doesn't he get that?
So this is that. This is
I'm going to have to call Dirty Barnacles on that right there. I don't buy that reasoning at all. He is literally launching a podcast off the back of his ex-wife being the first guest in it.
I mean, that's bag-maxing behavior. That's diabolical. Some would call that demonic. That's a Faustian bargain.
And he's trying to paint it like he's doing this so that way she can move on because all this went public and, you know, it's taken such a huge toll and she wouldn't be able to do public things because this will get brought up from the past. So this is how we're both going to heal and move forward. Like, I completely understand that for her in particular, her having any other, like, public-facing job or something, this would be brought up. I get that. And that is very difficult, no doubt. But this does not seem like...
Did he end up with the girl he cheated with? I'm not sure. I don't know the lore. Somebody get a fact check on that.
Ned Fulmer just trying to do something to help her not have to deal with something like that.
I feel like this is a necessary thing.
Yeah, we've kind of been just keeping our lives very private for the last 3 years.
We have.
And just almost hiding from the world.
We've been hiding. We've been hiding from the world. And I'm not going to lie, it's been kind of great.
You could put me in a straitjacket with a funnel into my mouth so that I have to chug seed oils, and I still don't think I would come out this soy. You could waterboard me with soy, and I still am going to come out on top with less vocal fry than whatever this is.
Now, I felt I needed to include this section in here because she is saying that she believes it was also somewhat necessary to publicly discuss this finally after so long, but that the time they spent away, she's felt is...
If they brought the producer he cheated with, this would be worth watching. Yeah, throw them all into a room. That's what I really want to see. Unironically, that would have been better.
Kind of great. But since this was a public thing, seems like she agreed.
Who are these people? That's not important. Listen to me right now. For self-preservation and self-esteem, there exists social comparisons, both upward and downward. This is what we call a downward social comparison. By watching this content, you will walk away feeling better about the decisions that you have made in your life.
That there needed to be some kind of like public resolution to it to move on. Now, I'm going to go against the grain a little bit here. I don't think it's necessary. You do not owe strangers online an explanation to how private matters were handled. Yes, this did happen in the public eye with the scandal, blowing up and the cup runneth over on Ned's unfaithfulness, but that doesn't mean that you need to do anything further publicly just for the internet to bear witness to. But if you do feel like there is like some kind of obligation to have some kind of like public, closure to it, is this really the best way to do it? Because to me, it really feels like Ned is using this as a self-serving thing. This is the kickoff to his podcast, and this is obviously something he knew would get a lot of views. To me, it feels more like a calculated business.
I'll only believe that his podcast is truly with the shits if he has on a fentanyl tweaker from Kensington so that he could talk about true rock bottom.
This call as opposed to something to try and help both of them like heal and move forward.
Myself to strangers. It's like, oh, let's exchange Instagrams. I'm like, well,
this is almost like Mormon coded.
Right?
Here's mine, but couple of caveats. One, I have a lot more followers than you might expect. Two, all of this is pretty outdated. And three, don't Google me.
Don't Google me.
Don't Google me.
You
Just
probably don't want to
get
Google
to know me
me
first. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
You don't want to be just sort of seen as the
Ned Flanders is actually based, though. The wholesome neighbor who's a God-fearing man and lifts up everyone around him. This is slimy. This is pure slug.
sum of your mistakes for me or the sum of your past for you.
I cut a lot of this section out here, but Ariel mentioned how, like, making friends has been a little weird because of all of this, because they'll come into it with some kind of, like...
Everything has a grift percentage now, and I hate it. That's why I come here for content now. The only thing I'm sold is soap every so often, and that's fine. Speaking of which, if you guys want to purchase the best soap in the world, use cheeky.com/Philion to scrub off that gamer gunk.
preconception based on what they've seen from the public and such, and Ned immediately is like, well, actually, me too. I'm going through something similar. I'll try and make a friend, introduce myself, and they like ask for my Instagram. I'm like, whoa, bump the brakes, buddy. Instagram, I don't know about that. Whatever you do, don't Google Ned Fulmer. Definitely don't do that. You know, you don't want to be viewed with some of your mistakes, or I guess in your case, Ariel, the sum of the past. Am I right? Yeah, we're kind of like two peas in a pod when it comes to this problem we're both experiencing. And he's like trying to like meet her in the middle there, like relate to her. But Ariel did nothing wrong. Ariel
This is a humiliation ritual. I feel really bad for the ex-wife.
is completely a victim in all of this, who is now sharing like how it has affected her, even like socially making friends. And Ned's like, oh, me too. I'm super victimized by it as well. Like they Google Ned Fulmer, they see I fucking cheated on my wife, and they don't want to be my friend. It's so weird, right? Like you and I were going through like the same thing on this. Am I right? Like this is what I'm talking about, where I feel like
She might have Stockholm Syndrome. I need a psychotherapist to analyze this and give me a play-by-play.
Ned's not actually trying to like help, you know, move forward here. It really feels like this is just his springboard for the podcast.
We are.
Yeah, keep the shit off the internet. I'm a gooner, okay? I fucking gooned. I gooned too close to the sun, and I ruined my marriage. That is all you need to say. I'm sorry. I had goonerous intent.
Still friends. We have children together. We go on trips together.
Right.
Like, you know, there's a spectrum of being together, not together.
Right.
Like there's ways in which we're together, but it's like the way that everyone wants to know, like, are you guys still like an item? Are you guys still a couple? Like, no. We really haven't been at all.
Love is a spectrum. Sometimes I miss the days of us together. How can you cheat and be a cuck simultaneously? What is the tech? That is the funniest thing I've heard today.
This last 3 years.
No, we haven't.
Because it's so accurate. Imagine cheating and still coming out as a cuckold.
So I've been saying ex-wife this whole time, but now that I'm rewatching this section, that's not the case. Apparently they are still technically married, but they are separated. They are not like dating. They're not a couple anymore, but they're not divorced either. And I think that might have been covered later in the podcast, but like I said, I could not stomach this whole thing. It's actual misery. It is literally like this miasma of like sadness. So I didn't finish the episode where that might have been addressed, but this whole time I've been saying ex-wife. But that, I guess, is not the case. What is for sure, though, is that they are not together, and she has not forgiven Ned for what he's done.
Spiritually, ex-wife still fits.
People ask me, like, do you forgive Ned for what he did? And, I mean, the answer is no.
Yes! Let's go!
Absolutely not. How can you forgive somebody for, like,
Mogged.
for lying to you, for cheating on you? No. Fuck no. Like, like, I don't even. It's.
Dude, if I got cheated on by somebody named Ned Fulmer, oh my, that's negative a million aura.
Sorry, I saw red for a minute. It's like, no, the answer is no.
Yeah, that checks out. You should not forgive somebody that has done what Ned Fulmer has done to you. Absolutely not.
This is so brutal.
And I'm really happy to see her just come down with the iron fist like, fuck no. Absolutely not. And Ned just sits there, hitting one of these.
It's hard to hear you saying like, fuck no, I don't forgive you.
Bro, if I'm a girl, I'm going straight to Miami. I'm going to Italy.
Of course I get it. I mean, I can you're still, as much progress as we've had, you're still very angry.
Yeah, of course I'm angry. You know, we're talking about like
This is where I started getting like a little wiggle worm-esque, where I was like kind of squirming in my seat a little bit because
I'm experiencing physical pain. That's exactly what this video is designed to do.
now it's getting much more into the meat and potatoes of like the cheating itself, which Ned is spearheading the conversation of. She's like, yeah, it hurts to hear you don't forgive me, but you know, I get it. We made a lot of progress, but you're still angry. And it's like, yeah, man, of course you're still going to be angry, but why are you using that as a piece of content for your podcast launch? And you can see how difficult this topic is for her. She then goes into detail about how everything unfolded for her, where she got this news from fans.
Oh my lord. Can it get any darker?
And she was being sent pictures, and she starts going through like what that was like for her emotionally. And it's really, really sad. And then immediately following that, this is Ned's question.
How did having it become such a public scandal kind of change everything for you?
Yo! Just really dig into that traumatic experience. I want to hear it.
Did it make it worse?
This is some fuck-ass behavior.
Did it make it
Ned's Declassified Cheating Survival Guide.
easier? Did it just sort of make it surreal?
This guy should not be allowed online.
it was so many different things.
The FCC needs to revoke his podcasting license, effective immediately.
His questions suck shit through a crazy straw. These questions are fucking terrible, man. Brother, what? Did it going public? You know, I was cheating on you for a long time and then everyone found out. They were the ones that told you, by the way, not me. Did that make it like easier for you, you think? Just explain that to me a little bit, if you don't mind, about how public how public it was. What was that like being in the middle of that, if you don't mind? And then his next question, I think, is his worst one.
What was that moment like when everything changed for you?
What?
Awful, obviously.
What was that?
Yo, we're getting bunker busted right now. Holy buckets.
Moment like, huh? Hey, excuse me, if you don't mind, can you walk me through exactly what it felt like when you found out that your husband, whom you have children with, has actually been cheating on you for a very long time? Can you please describe in detail what you felt when you learned that information about me? I'd love to know, if you don't mind. If that isn't the most brain-dead fucking question I've ever heard, Ned, it probably didn't feel good. What does asking this question even do to help either of you, like, heal from this? Please, walk.
I need to know what the Hodge twins think about this. Hey, man. Them sugar walls. Deep inside. Busting all kinds of nuts.
me through the trauma when you learn that your husband, have been cheating on you for quite a long time. This is something, again, like I said, that should have been, like, with a, like,
He left the nuts hanging out with the mushroom tip.
a therapist.
Yeah.
Not a microphone. Microphones do not do that job. And I'm assuming over the last 3 years, and based
Give me some room. Get the fuck out the way.
on the conversation, they have talked, in detail with each other and with others about this. Why bring it up for the sake of cameras to capture it for your podcast?
Because he did this shit for content. Because his personality cannot carry his endeavors alone.
That's why I'm saying this feels like it is all truly...
Hey, man. At the end of the day, this is just some advice. Yeah, that's all it is, man. It's just some advice. Take it or leave it.
self-serving for Ned to try and, like, regain some kind of audience online.
I think there was a lot of sort of delusions and rationalizations that you as the person doing that sort of are telling yourself as to why
All these fake plants and empty books, spiritually devoid.
it's not so bad, or why it's gonna be
Aura vacuum. New term, clip it and ship it. This shit's an aura vacuum.
okay, or why actually this talked about in this way, and then it's like
Who's the audience watching this podcast? No one. It's all hate watchers. Everyone is smoking on the Ned pack.
remember that moment. It all just kind
Hobby Lobby ass podcast set.
of like fell down where I
This one I'm going to take a little pause break for like a little halftime show moment here, because he's about to get into the most painful part, and this is when I turned it off. And what I want to make a mention of here is, for some reason, Ned is the one at the helm here. He's in the driver's seat and is basically, and this is
Is there a company that rents rooms for this shit podcast? Well, there are companies like that that do exist. However, all of these people have enough money and they still can't get any swag behind them because they were never in the trenches.
something I saw like August the Duck point out as well. He is mainly talking about like moments as opposed to like talking about how much he himself fucked up. He is entirely to blame for this, yet he is the one that gets to steer the conversation
Dude, if the next episode is the girl that he cheated with, I will subscribe.
and talk kind of broadly about it.
You know why? Because that would demonstrate that he has balls. Right now, it's pure castration.
And focus on like this moment. What did you feel in that moment? As opposed to like letting her talk about it and letting her kind of dictate where the conversation goes and the questions and that kind of thing. It is so odd, and it does feel unfair that Ned is the one that is spearheading all of it.
Yeah, I want to hear the wife grill him.
It doesn't make sense given that he is the one, the cheater, that did all of this. And yet he gets to be the one in control of this conversation here that supposedly he's doing to try and help her, move forward in like a public
Yep, the optics are off.
facing environment.
totally could see how devastated and
Podcasts have become performative therapy sessions for narcissistic celebrities. Always have been. They gotta go.
just completely traumatized you were, and then it was just
I don't even know what he's saying. It's just these whimpers in between vocal fry and nasal whistling.
like, oh, everything changed for me as well. I'm like, oh no, this is
Where's the conviction?
like I've been hurting this person that I
If bag maxing makes you gay, what's the point anymore? Money is an amplifier, don't you understand? If you're a pencil neck dweeb before money, odds are when you get money, you're just going to be a bigger pencil neck dweeb. But if you're a giga and then you come into windfalls of money, guess what? Yeah,
love this whole time.
you know exactly what that looks like in the flesh. Third Eye Global, baby. Kick.com/Philion.
You didn't realize until then.
Well, but then there's other things you tell yourself to kind of sort of compartmentalize, or I guess.
What is going on?
Interesting.
Oh, wow. Like I said, it is a tough watch. And like I said, Ned really does feel like he talks about like these like excuses and how he's like compartmentalizing and like, lying to himself, deluding himself, that kind of thing. Like it almost feels like he's giving himself these like little weaselly
The
ways
CFO of Third Eye Global, Dark Money himself, Marin, speaks of this.
in which that, like he calls it a scandal, whereas she says directly your affair. Is another thing. Like he talks about it as a scandal, as opposed to like how badly he himself fucked up making this decision.
How did the scandal affect your life? Brother man, my brother in Christ, my guy, you know exactly what you did. Calling it a scandal takes the responsibility off of your shoulders and puts it onto this elusive other, as if you weren't conscious in your cheating.
Consciously. And now he's talking about like, yeah, no, it was like, never realized, with all the ways I was like lying to myself that I was actually like hurting the person that I love. And she calls that out saying like, you didn't realize that? You didn't realize at any point that, maybe what you were doing would be like really hurtful and like really devastating? He's like, no, I just with the way you compartmentalize and it's brutal. It is absolutely brutal to sit through.
It's sort of a, it's like a
He's got a machine gun aimed at his foot with the trigger taped down.
addictive cycle, kind of feeling really
What is that squeak noise? They're shitty audio.
guilty and ashamed, and then telling yourself the ways in which it's, kind of just
He's getting off on this. Well, he's making money off this, that's for sure. If this channel's monetized, which has to be.
lying to yourself, and then, yeah.
It feels like RFK Jr. is pointing microwaves at my head with soy. The squeak noises are his castrated balls gasping for air.
That sigh said 1,000 things without even needing.
Yeah, beta waves being straight beamed into my 3 eyes. My pineal gland is being calcified as we speak. If I didn't have these soy blockers on, I think I'd croak.
Words. Ned, what the fuck? He's just bumbling. Like he is actually spitting mumbo jumbo. He's saying nothing.
Lights are on, no one's home. Many such cases.
Literally nothing.
Of like, well, what did you do to make him look elsewhere? Were you not a good enough wife? Were you not, did you not make him happy enough? And they're so...
Watching this makes me realize how much of an alpha male Philion is. Chad, I don't gotta tell you. There's just levels to this shit.
so
High energy, follow your gut. I don't see either of these on display. He's low energy and he followed his fucking mushroom tip. Me? I follow my gut.
much shame there.
Never goon.
And I just...
This is why the gym is so important, honestly. Because if you went to the gym and you became a man, forged by sun and steel, if you literally forcing yourself to suffer in order to grow, delayed gratification, you attract. You do not lash out, for you know your worth and you respect others' worth.
I'm so tired of holding that. I'm so tired of holding it.
Unfortunately, this is a very real thing that she's describing right here, where there are
Instead of cheating, could have cranked hog and then benched 225, but he can't.
people that when they hear about a husband cheating on their wife, their first response is, well, what did the wife do to make the husband do that? Must have been her fault. What, this harlot? What, she must have done something wrong. Must have been some kind of harpy over there.
Yeah, some historical context. They did a testosterone test for the Try Guys. Ned Fulmer came in last with 280 tests, but the top end of the reference range was 350.
No, surely it was the wife's fault that Ned Fulmer would go elsewhere to find a suitable woman worthy of his benevolent being. And she's talking about how much that has weighed on her. And she then directly asks him, how does it make you feel hearing this? That you did this to me. You have basically, put this hex on me in some people's eyes that will not go away.
How does it make you feel to hear that?
I'm tired of hearing how does that make you feel. I don't want to know.
I don't think it's fair that as a society you're put in that position. It's certainly not true.
Beta!
And no, it's not something that I
Jesse Lee Peterson speaks of this.
imagined as I was doing that. I think none of it was. If you really let it sink in just how much you're hurting your partner, and how devastating it is. Like, how could you do that? It's still very difficult now, even 3 years later, to see you in pain as you're talking about that. Because there's nothing I can do to change the past or to help.
She needs to just flat out ask, why did you cheat on me?
This right here sums up the Ned attitude for this. This is a very manipulative answer, in my opinion. She is giving a very real account of something that she now has.
Bro, she's too good for this. She's too kind and wholesome. She doesn't deserve to be re-traumatized in front of the entire internet for his gain.
Had put upon her because of Ned. Even outside of like the devastation to the marriage, there are people that will look at her a
Why is she smiling though? Because she's probably awestruck at this man's audacity.
certain way because of what he has done.
Could be a coping mechanism, could be a lot of things.
And she is now saying, how do you feel about that? Is that something you've considered? And Ned, instead of like even addressing like, yes, I did this to you, I recognize I did this to you, he instead says, I feel really bad that unfortunately society does this. Ned, you did this to her. Yes, it is sad that society will do that. But whether or not you want to acknowledge it doesn't change the reality that it does happen, and it is something she has to live with now as a result of your actions. He softly tiptoes around it, instead focusing more on like the problem that society has with this perception that they'll put on people. I'm so sorry.
He blames society. Yep, society made me do it. Case closed. As a man, you must take radical accountability. There's no other way. You are exactly where you need to be because of you, and only you can change that. Level up, lock in, reload, re-engage, recalibrate.
You're going through that, honey. What a shame. This is what I'm saying. He kind of like cushions his cheating. Like, for instance, he mainly refers to it as a scandal. Ariel's not afraid to say,
You know what you say to that? Good.
like, your affair and, like, what you did. But when Ned's talking about it, it's like, oh, I was lying to myself, you know, with this scandal, this scandalous stuff, that kind of thing. Like, he really likes that nomenclature. It just feels like he is very much trying to, like, soften it a bit. So I just don't buy from his side that this was supposed to try and help Ariel in some way. I don't...
Even when it's not your fault, it's your fault. So true.
don't get that feeling from him. And far be it from me to question how Ariel wants to move forward from all of this. If she does feel this is the best way of doing it, then I would then ask, why did Ned take over most of the conversation? Maybe it changes towards the end of the podcast, I'm not really sure. But for the 38-ish minutes or whatever that I watched before just tapping out, it was all Ned that would lead these talks and control it. He would just try and poke a, like, how did you feel when I cheated? So that way she would talk about how awful it was, and he'd just sit there nodding his head. But it was always him taking the discussion where he wanted it to go. And every step of the way, I really got the feeling that Ned was playing just how awful what he did was. This was an awful thing to sit through.
I mean, that's exactly what he did. The writing's on the wall, though. Why'd you do it, Ned? Why did you do it? Never goon. And if you're struggling with these impure thoughts, you could just go to kick.com/Philion and get expert level life advice and analysis all day long. I don't understand.